Hello everyone, my name is Johnny Turner. I just want to say thank you very much for tuning into this channel, and I want to say appreciate you hanging out with the old man today. Now today you can tell that we're in a garage, and we're going to be working on this old Corvette today. Basically what it is my 1979 C3 Corvette. Now it's a resto mod, which means we're going to be restoring the outside and the interior to look like brand new. But underneath the hood and the drivetrain and the rear end, we're going to beef it up just a little bit. I need your help today. We're going to be doing things a little bit different than what we normally do. I'm having an issue, a problem with the hood release cable that opens up the hood, and we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. I've got my mechanics work clothes ready to go. So if you're not doing anything else, why don't you come hang out with the old man and let's work on the car today and see what we can do about fixing that cable. Alright, basically what's going on is the hood on one side here is working and it releases, but on the other side it is not releasing, and so we have a little bit of a hard time trying to get it to do that. Now on these old Corvettes, the hood release is down here, and there you can see it, and we're going to grab it and pull it. I don't know what all these little fuzzy things flying around. You heard it click, I hope. Alright, so we did the hood release, and you can see here this side comes up, but this side over here does not come up, and there's a cable that goes across from one end to the other that we're going to see here in just a moment. I've got to do this manually, so it's a wire, so what I'm doing is I'm using this cloth here just to get up underneath here and grab that wire and pull on it so it doesn't cut my fingers, because you got to pull pretty dang hard here. There it goes. Alright, now that we have the hood up, we can see here what the problem is. You see right there? This is the cable that goes from the hood release latch up to here that operates the hood mechanism here, and you can see that this wire here is very, very loose, and you can see here where this is not how to do it. We're going to fix that with all the new hardware and all that we got with it. But then it comes around and comes in through here, underneath, through here. You can still see it right there. And then, oh, wow, okay, well there's the problem right there. So what it looks like is the wire, I guess over time, has cracked and broken, so they had to, I don't know what to say there, to just like they tried to engineer their own little connectors instead of just replacing the cable, is what they should have done. They tried to, this is the previous owner now, I would have never done this, but this is, yeah, this is bad here. So we're going to replace this cable, all the screws, and we're going to do this here the right way. Now this is a pretty easy little thing. All it is just a couple nuts and bolts, and just making sure that everything is put back where it belongs. I don't know. Tell you a little story. Like me and my old man, when we were growing up, now he liked race cars and did circle track, and but where him and I came together is when we did like the drag strip there in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, it's not there anymore, but some of you will remember the Cooper River drag strip. And here's a picture of me and my dad, or I should say me and the old man, here at the drag strip, and just having the time of our life. So, Dad, he had a garage, like a two-car garage, and all of us boys just spent so much time out there, and he was always putting like a tunnel ram or, a six-pack on one of his cars. Now, he was a big fan of a Mopar, and he had him an old 65 Barracuda that was actually our family car. But he turned that thing into a real hot rod, and I'll be honest with you, I drove it a lot during high school, and really had the time of my life in it, that's for sure. So as time goes on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to upgrade my tools, because you can see these are just old tools that I've had for years and years and years, and probably some of these are the original tools my dad gave me. we're going to use what we have. And if we come across a tool that we need, we'll go ahead and purchase it and buy it. So let's see here. This is the new part. You can see here. This is, you know, the part number and stuff like that there if you need to replace your cable on hood latch cable on one of these old Corvettes. But you can see here, I mean, yeah, they got an old expression, backyard mechanics, and there's plenty of them out there on YouTube, and you'll see them. I've never been a backyard mechanic. I believe there's a right tool for the right job, and I believe in getting things done and doing it the right way. There's some guys that'll, like, you know, paper clip and tinfoil and bubble gum things, you know, and duct tape, and we're not going to do that here. If there's something that needs to be replaced or something that needs to be done, I guess we're going to do it the right way. Like this, no, that's a hose clamp. What is that doing over here on a hood release cable? No, that goes over here on a hose somewhere. There's a hose. That's where it goes. It goes there. That's what those are made for. All right, next up, there's a cotter pin back here holding this on. There it goes. All right, so you can see that came right on out. This here was here. It just comes right off. We're going to reach down here and grab that little part there, and there you go, right there. And that's where the cotter pin went through and held everything in together right through there. All right, so we're going to set that to the side and remember where everything is, hopefully. Funny story, and anybody that works on cars knows about the coffee can full of nuts and bolts. Alright, that's coming off, and we'll put that somewhere else. But it seems like, you know, whenever you're working on a car and you put something back together, it always seems to have more parts or more nuts and bolts. So Dad always had a bunch of like coffee cans laying around with all different size nuts and bolts and screws. And I used to ask him, I was like, Dad, man, why do you have all these nuts and bolts? Those are supposed to go back on the car. He never could figure out where they go, but man, he must have had 10 different cans of nuts and bolts. Alright, so there's that part. Now we can go ahead and start pulling this one out. Alright, so that's got that one out. Let's see if we can trace this one back through and put it right back where it belongs. That's all we're going to do is just straight follow that firewall. That was under. I got an old saying. There it is right there. Now you only got one way to do it right and 1,000 ways to do it wrong. So let's see if we can do this here the right way the first time. Alright, how about that, guys? That looks good. That one's not going anywhere. Alright. So I figured out now why well, I should say he, it could have been a she, but why the person who had this Vette before had this there is because they lost that nut. I can't find a nut like that anywhere here in this car. And they got kinds of like little goodies and all here. I'll save that for later. But they don't have that nut. Now I just happen to have, you know, a little box of different nuts. I don't have a 10 can yet, but over the years I've picked up and bought, you know, like little packages, and they come with 6 nuts or something. So I'm going to take this here and put it in there and see if that'll work, and then hold this puppy in place. I don't know how many foot-pounds torque that should be, but I think it should just tighten it up to where it's nice straight, and that cable will do its job. Alright, let's move back to the other side and start to put that side together. Alright, looks like we have the same garter pin action going on here. Alright, out with the old, in with the new. Second from the top, huh? Oh yeah, that's tight. I could already feel it grabbing on that end. And here we go. Alright, so now we're going to test it. It looks like everything's back together. And the next step for us to do is to test this. Now, the way we test it, you've got to engage the lock, and you heard it click there, okay? This is the mechanism. When we shut the hood down, it goes into here. Let me adjust this a bit. Comes down and into here. And it will slam shut. So when it slams shut, this will go forward, and you heard it click in place. Now, when you go into the car and you pull the hood release latch, then it puts pressure on this, pulling this back and down, which releases that, and you heard it audibly click. Now we're going to go over to the other side and then do the same thing. Let's see, when you shut down on it, that'll bring this down. Alright, you heard it click in place. That's tight. We already know this works, but we're going to, yeah, that works good. Oh yeah, we're going to bring this back up and down. Alright, I got both sides set. So let's reach up underneath here, grab that, now listen. Oh, I know you heard that. That was both sides. That's what we wanted to hear. Alright. Oh yeah, I'm a happy man. What we're going to do is just use some WD-40 and just spray the locking mechanism real quick. And the only reason we're doing that is just make sure that, you know, it's well lubricated and we don't run into any. It's looking good, guys. Looking good. Alright, we're going to do this side next. Alright, so I think we're ready to give it a test run. Let's shut the hood and see what happens here. Alright, let's listen for 2 clicks. There we go. That's working now. Oh yeah. Alright, let's close it. That's the way it should be working. Alright. Let's try it. Oh ho! You see that? Yes, sir. Oh yeah. So you probably noticed that the other side of the latch was opening before this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the cable tension to where both sides are opening at the same time. Now, we did have it on the second from the top hole, so what we're going to do is we're going to loosen it one hole, and let's see if you can see in there. And basically this is where it was, 1, 2, and now we're going to come down here to number 3 and see if they can unlatch at the same time. 1, 2, 3, and then from here we'll put our little cotter pin back in. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, let's give it a try again. 1, 2, and 3. How about that? You guys did a good job. You guys did just fine. You see that? All right. So I think officially we've got the cable changed out. Basically, there's supposed to be like a little cover that goes across the top of the distributor. That's where this cable is supposed to go across. So most people take that off, they discard it. I don't know. I don't know how important that cover is or not. But I do want this car to be, I guess, work like it's supposed to. Now I understand that it's a resto mod, so maybe you know, we'll leave that cover off, or we'll put the cover on for no other reason but to run this hood latch cable over the top of it, and I'll attach it to the cover like it's supposed to be. Now with the hood down, nobody will ever know. With the hood off, we've got it run. It works fine. It's perfect. It works great. No worries, no problems. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Put the distributor cover back on or not? Why don't you leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. And then you know, as time goes on and we start doing some more and more up here as far as replacing parts, I think it would be good. I think it would be cool to cover it up and have the cable, you know, where it's supposed to go. I'm sure that the guys at GM back in 1979 had a reason for putting that cover there. So let me know what you think. Put your comments down below, and then we will go from there. Again, thank you very much for hanging out with the old man. Looks like this project is tied up now, but it's getting dark outside, so I don't think we're going to go for a ride in the Corvette tonight. We'll make that for the next episode. We need to get a battery, replace the battery on it, and then check the alternator, make sure the alternator is working correctly. And we will definitely go for a ride. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I appreciate the hard work, and you deserve to be rewarded, so you'll go for a ride with me, okay? All right, well, again, thank you very much for tuning into this channel. I appreciate you hanging out with the old man, and we will see you next time. Thank you.